Welcome to the Intimate Partner Violence video miniseries 2021 for Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Diane Lewis and I'm a victim service provider. In this episode, I will be addressing intimate partner violence in Trinidad and Tobago with respect to the role of society. Several aspects of society can contribute to curbing the issue of IPV in Trinidad and Tobago. Not just government and non-governmental organizations, but the education system, religious institutions, and the citizens. Schools are one of the main institutions of socialization as children spend most of their waking time there among peers. It is important to implement counseling programs where students can learn about their holistic development. A thorough counseling program in schools would help to address issues of self-esteem, mental health, isolation, and substance abuse. It will also allow students from a young age to learn how to reach out and seek help when they feel overwhelmed in a place that is easily accessible and safe, especially for those who are witnesses and victims of abuse who may not feel safe at home. A proper sex education curriculum would also help to establish healthy gender relations between males and females. Such programs can also help to correct the imbalance of power between males and females in private spaces and help to alleviate strict gender roles. It would be naive of us to think that intimate partner violence does not exist at all between couples who attend church, mosque, or temple. Many persons who experience IPV and attend religious organizations often seek help for their marriages at the same institutions. I've heard of some cases where women seek counseling for the abuse from their religious leaders and they are often questioned about what they did wrong to deserve such treatment or told that they must bear their cross, or in this case the violence or abuse, for the sake of keeping the family unit or the marriage intact. There needs to be a shift in the way that religious leaders address issues of IPV in the same way that other sins are acknowledged and reprimanded in places of worship. The issue of IPV should be taken seriously as well and addressed in the same manner. It should be acknowledged and confronted. Religious leaders should make a conscious effort to educate themselves on IPV and include aspects of it in their marriage counseling sessions. Ensure that there is a shift from a victim-blaming perspective to one where the abuser is held accountable in their approach to addressing issues of IPV. The community can also address IPV by implementing awareness and empowerment programs for IPV victims. In these programs, they may teach victims to identify patterns of abuse, triggers for abusive behaviors, risk factors for victims and perpetrators, and safety planning. They can also provide contact information for services and resources which can be accessed, such as temporary shelters, job opportunities, self-defense programs, and educational opportunities. Communities can also provide individual and couples counseling, as well as a victim-centered approach counseling, where individuals are trained to assess the needs of those who are victims of intimate partner violence. They may also provide treatment programs for the abuser, such as batterer treatment programs, substance abuse programs, for example, AA or any 12-step program, anger management, and conflict resolution. Communities can also strengthen economic support for families and victims. Victims would require monetary assistance to purchase food items, clothing, as well as other necessities if they are to leave an abusive relationship permanently. So although there are many agencies and organizations to support victims of IPV in Trinidad and Tobago, there are many ways in which citizens can help. Understandably, in these circumstances, it's often difficult to know what to do and what not to do. However, victims should never have to carry the burden themselves, and understanding how you can reach out or support would help to empower victims to leave their abusive situations. So, here are some of the ways in which you can help. Try to stay calm when someone tells you about the abuse they are experiencing. Try not to judge the person or challenge them about how or why the abuse occurred. Reassure him or her that they are not to blame for what happened and that all the information that they are sharing with you is completely confidential. Many times people are quick to give advice based on their own subjective experiences without a complete understanding of the situation that the victim may face. This in turn may prevent the person from seeking help from from that person in particular or others, and they may stay in an abusive relationship, which may prove to be fatal. It's always important to remember that we are unable to fully and truly understand someone's experience completely, as each individual is unique and would have different experiences and factors contributing to their situation. Even if you have experienced similar circumstances, it is never completely the same. Try not to take things personally. Be patient, listen carefully, and allow emotional responses to happen. The most important thing you need to do is just be there. They may express grief, anger, or other emotions. IPV victims may express extremely strong emotions in describing their experiences. These are raw, negative emotions, and it can be a lot for individuals who are not skilled counselors to handle. And individuals often mistake victims as being harsh toward them, or that these emotions are directed toward them. Always keep in mind that these strong emotions are not directed at you, even though at times it may feel like they are. Aim for victim empowerment. However distraught the person may be, or however distraught you think they may be, they still need to be consulted on any decisions which are being made that may affect them. Try not to take over decision making unless the person is in danger or very unwell. However, you may have to act as the go-between with police, medical staff, and others. If this happens, keep the person informed and involved. When assisting victims of IPV, it's important to take a victim-centered approach, where the victim is allowed to make informed decisions or choices about their own needs and desires and is rooted in empowerment. In this way, this is the beginning of the process of the victims becoming stronger and more confident in controlling their life and understanding and claiming their rights. Regardless of their education level, socioeconomic status, or perceived abilities, victims are in charge of their own lives and know what their needs are. Offer support rather than condemnation. Based on seeing the comments on Facebook that's being made under certain newspaper articles when it comes to IPV incidents, I can tell that this is a very difficult thing for some Trinidadians to do. Try not to tell victims they were lucky it wasn't worse or you'll get over it. These statements are rarely consoling to someone who is highly distressed. Instead, let them know that you are sorry that the event occurred and that you want to understand and assist them as best as possible. Perhaps you can work out a safety plan where, if the victim is in immediate danger, they can text or call and give a coded statement that only you and the victim know, in which case you will be able to call and get help for them. Every individual is unique, and although there are many common reactions to IPV, everyone's experience will differ. It's always important to ask people what they need and not make assumptions based on generalizations. If you don't believe that you can be helpful to the victim in any way, it's important that you refer them to the Gender-Based Violence Unit in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, or reach out to your nearest police station or Victim and Witness Support Unit, or any other victim service provider who, due to knowledge in this field, will be able to help address these situations better. Today is the final information sharing episode for the Intimate Partner Violence Video Miniseries 2021 for Trinidad and Tobago. Look out for our final episode on October the 31st, 2021, where we have someone else who shares their experience with intimate partner violence. Should you have any questions on intimate partner violence or any queries about the information we just discussed or information that was discussed throughout the series, please feel free to reach out via email. Thanks for listening. If you or anyone you know has been a victim of intimate partner violence or any type of other domestic violence, please take note of the following agencies on the screen and their contact numbers for help. If you're experiencing or you're currently witnessing any sort of violence, please contact the emergency services at 999 or 555 for immediate assistance.